Greetings everyone, and thanks for tuning in for this paranormal pit stop. Tonight we'll be exploring a historic U.S. Civil War defense and national landmark located off of Howard England Way near the southern tip of Thompson Island, out of Key West in Florida. Recognized for harboring the largest collection of its era's cannons in the whole of the country, and rumored to be roamed by associated restless spirits tied to its past, are you sure you're ready to brave the history and hauntings of the Fort Zachary Taylor Historic State Park? Historically, in 1513, the region of Key West would be surveyed by its first Spanish explorers, and in 1822, it would be transferred as a territory to the U.S., after which, later the same year, a small depot was established under the Navy in order to keep pirates at bay, and Thompson Island to the southwest of the Key was selected as a site for a future fort, which in turn was one of a slew of forts designed following the War of 1812, in order to defend the region's coastline. In 1836, plans for this prospective defense creation that were drawn up under Simon Bernard and Joseph G. Totten were approved, and in 1845, construction of the fort was started. Through November of 1850, the defense, which was still under works, would be named in honor of, you guessed it, U.S. President Zachary Taylor. Unfortunately, through the remainder of the 1850s, construction would go slow, and would be further delayed by runs of yellow fever, shortages in building materials and laborers, hurricanes, and the very remoteness of its locale, which in itself was a huge deterrent for travel in an era where one was literally likely to die in voyage, and might never see home again. Amidst the Civil War, in 1861, the prominent fort would be captured by the Union, who would maintain the defense through the duration of the fight, and who would make use of Zach's formidable artillery, with which they would detain countless blockade and supply ships. Now, in case you lost track or just figured we forgot to mention the endgame, in 1866, Fort Zachary Taylor would actually finally be officially completed, and subsequently through the Spanish-American War of 1898, through World War I, which lasted from 1914 to 1918, and through World War II, which lasted from 1939 to 1945, it would see heavy usage, before, in 1947, being turned over to the U.S. Navy for continued maintenance. In 1971, Fort Zach was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. In 1973, it was designated a National Historic Landmark. In 1976, the state of Florida would acquire the expanse, and in 1985, the weathered defense was open to the public. In the present, the Fort Zachary Taylor Historic State Park remains open to the public, offering an assortment of antiquities and armament displays, a slew of walking trails, beaches, picnic and event space, touring options, reenactments, and, according to local legends, a range of supernatural activity tied to the many who lived and died within its bounds. And those frequenting the site have reported disembodied voices detected from empty spaces, boot steps that sound down empty halls, and encounters with a range of apparitions ranging from civilians to old-timey soldiers, usually observed seemingly going about tasks from lives since past. Though Fort Zach never played witness to active combat, as mentioned earlier, disease ran rampant. Suicides and accidents along the beach were fairly common, and several fatalities have even since been chalked up to drunken mishaps. And it's believed the spirits of these men, taken too soon, might still linger in unrest. Incidentally, both guests and even official park rangers have reported a foul stench that emanates from the barracks, the silhouettes of bloated bodies that manifest floating in nearby waters that always disappear when approached, and run-ins with spectral troops lining up in formation under the moonlight. Several informal investigations of the fort have yielded high EMF levels, chilling EVPs, and orbs and other anomalies captured in photography and video, while others have told of strange malfunctions or abnormal battery death rates in well-maintained electronics, extreme cold patches felt in the downstairs sections, unearthly moans heard emanating from dark corners, the phantom sounds of gunfire or flashes of discharged powder, and an eerie whistling at all hours, and that always sends chills down the spines of those near. Lastly, the fort's most famous ghost is easily that of an entity dubbed Wendell, who it's believed died during a yellow fever outbreak amidst the Civil War, and whose ghost has since made a habit of photobombing selfies, and also of appearing suddenly and startling both staff and visitors close by. Notably, Wendell has been sighted performing various tasks around the fort, and has also been spied watching tour groups from a distance, after which he always seems to disappear shortly after being noticed. Thanks for tuning in for this paranormal pit stop. If you enjoyed hearing our histories and ghost stories, subscribe to our channel, like this upload, and share us with anyone you think could use a good scare. We'll catch you all next time.